Are you really planning on making that guy a full-time employee?
As if. We didn't have enough people in the development team. That's the only reason why I invited that loser.
So when his contract is over, it's adios, isn't it?
Actually, I don't think we need him anymore already. The game has already been released, and another team will handle the rest. You can come up with a random reason and fire him.
Alright, leave it to me.
That bastard! He tricked me! My name is Hiroshi Moriya. I'm a 20-year-old contract employee. I had a dream, which was to create my own social networking game and have it be a huge success. Ever since I was a little kid, I loved games, especially social networking games. My game rankings were always first place. And on the internet, I was often introduced on websites as a hardcore player under my gamer name, Kuchi Shimote. My gamer name I chose randomly, but if I knew that I was going to become this famous, I do wish I had chosen something better. But the social networking games were my life. When I became an adult, I naturally began to think that I wanted to be not only on the player side, but on the production side as well. That's why I started studying video game production skills in high school. I taught myself programming and started creating simple games on my computer. I had my internet friends try playing them too, and the reviews were pretty good. That gave me some confidence, and I started to become more and more invested in the stream. After I graduated high school, in order to make my dreams come true, I enrolled in a programming course. I worked pretty hard, and was able to maintain really good grades there. I think I did pretty well, because sometimes when CEOs of gaming companies would come to observe our class, they would personally hand me their business cards to join their companies in the future. Therefore, I thought I wouldn't have much trouble finding a job, until the time came for me to start job searching.
Why do you want to join our company?
Because I like games?
In that case, any other company would be fine too, wouldn't it?
No, that's not what I meant. I simply wasn't very good at speaking to people. And in the interviews, I became even less able to talk, and couldn't give any decent answers. I ended up getting rejected from every single company after the interview, and couldn't get a job anywhere. I couldn't find the courage to reach out to the person who gave me their business card either. I was starting to regret that I should have taken more opportunities to talk to people and learn communication skills when I got this message from one of my high school classmates. Yo, Hiroshi! It's been a long time. How have you been? Yohei! It really has been a long time. I'm good. How are you? I'm so-so, I guess. More importantly, are you job searching right now? I guess so. How's it going? Did you get any offers? Not yet. I'm just so bad at the interviews. I see some things haven't changed. But actually, that's perfect. What do you mean? I just started my own company. Wait, didn't you go to college after high school? What happened? It's pretty normal for college students to start their own companies these days. You know how my parents are also CEOs? I always wanted to start my own company too, so I finally did. That's amazing. I've heard a lot of stories of people doing it, but never actually saw someone do it. Yeah, well, I asked my dad, and he's the main investor, so it's more like a subsidiary. Even still, you're a CEO already. That's seriously amazing. Congratulations. Thanks, yo. Anyway, the company is a social networking game company, but next year, we're planning on finishing an RPG-style game and releasing it into the world. Wow, that's a huge-scale project. Yeah. So would you be able to help us? Me? We don't have that many people that can write code. That's why I need your help. We were thinking of having you join as a contract employee first, and depending on how you perform, we can provide a full-time contract. That would be a dream. Can we meet to talk about the details? Okay. Oh, well, if you're free tomorrow, come by the office. I'll send you the location later. His name is Yohei Nakane. Like I mentioned earlier, he's a high school classmate. His father was the CEO of a major IT company, and he always stood out in class for being very wealthy. The reason why I was able to become friends with him was through gaming. We happened to be into the same social networking game, and that became the start of our friendship. What? You're that insanely skilled player, Kuchi Shimote? I'm really not as good as they say I am, though. Then please, play me! I'm sure you'll see how great you are then! Sheesh, You're so strong you killed me in seconds! If you're playing with that character, a crossbow might be better than just a bow and arrow. If you combine the items like this, wow, you really are Kuchi Shimote! That's crazy! I guess I am. Although, this is the only thing I'm good at. Are you going to become a professional gamer in the future? I do love playing, but in the future, I want to be on the side that makes the games. My dream is to make a game that everybody can obsess over. That's cool! If someone that loves games as much as you makes one, it's probably going to be amazing! I got a little bit nostalgic. When I was in my last year of high school and I got accepted into my dream programming course, Yohei was the first person I told. But I never would have imagined that years later, I would get the opportunity of my dreams like this. I may be starting as a contract employee, but I get to make a social networking game, and most importantly, I get to start from scratch at a brand new company. That could mean that even some inexperienced guy like me could have a lot more responsibilities and opportunities. That's why I decided to join Yohei's company. I'm Hiroshi Moriya. Nice to meet you all. It was my first time in a company in an unfamiliar place. I was stressed and my communication skills hit an all-time low, but luckily, everyone at the company was very kind. This guy has been all about gaming ever since we were students, and at one point, he was on a professional gamer level and was quite the celebrity. Hey, we don't need to bring up the past. Wow! Well, that's amazing! We're excited to have you on the team, Mr. Moriya. My name is Hazuma. I'm a programmer just like you. If you have any questions, you can always ask me. Yes, nice to meet you. Thank you. Just like Yohei had told me, there weren't many employees, but they were all warm and welcoming. And although it was rare for someone like me to open up to people, I was quickly able to fit in. However, that is all except for one person.
Hey, didn't I tell you to prepare all of the materials by today?
No, well,
What is it? Speak up!
I was told that it was due tomorrow.
Huh? Do you have any proof that I said that?
About that,
This is why I didn't want to hire someone who didn't even go to a proper college. You only got this job because you're the CEO's friend, but you're completely useless. Do something for lunch.
This was the head of the development department, Mr. Araki. As you can see, he wasn't too careful with his words and bullied his way to get what he wanted. He was a nightmare for someone like me, who already had trouble communicating as was. By the way, I really was told to prepare the materials by tomorrow. I couldn't tell if he forgot what he said or if he was just doing this to harass me, but he wasn't wrong that I got into the company because of my connections. And perhaps I should have been ahead on my work, so I did take a little bit of responsibility. However, dealing with his illogical and aggressive behavior every day made my stomach hurt. On the other hand, I was loving the actual work that I was doing. Since there weren't that many people, I was given a lot more responsibility as a new hire, and since I'd been studying this since I was in high school, I was already pretty comfortable with the material. Mr. Moriya, you really are something else! Honestly, I didn't think that you would be this good! Thank you very much. Plus, it genuinely made me feel good that my senior colleagues would compliment me like this. As for the head of the department...
Hey, Moriya, go buy me my lunch.
But I still haven't finished my work.
Shut up! There are only 2 words to say in response to an order from your boss. Yes and sir. Now hurry up and go!
It was almost as if we were back in school, and it was a bully handling the class loser. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't get along with him. The reason why wasn't only because of his aggressive and oppressive nature. Even if it wasn't about his attitude, we were a really small team, and yet he barely did any work. Since the CEO Yohei wasn't around the office very often, Mr. Araki was free to do as he pleased. During work hours, he would be playing games that were completely unrelated, calling it research. And even though our lunch break was 1 hour, some days he would wander back into the office after being missing for 3 hours. Even though he was the head of the development department, it didn't seem like he had much knowledge of programming basics. And even if he were to do some work, he wouldn't have been much use with his lack of skills. I couldn't wrap my head around how this guy was appointed the head of the department. Luckily, the person directly under him, Mr. Hazuma, was brilliant. Thanks to him, the development was going smoothly. And 1 year after I joined the company, we were able to launch the game MoniRobo Quest. Our hard work was paying off, and the initial release was going great. Of course, the sales were steady, but the reviews were also exciting. I was thrilled that the first game I was involved with was doing so well. Then one day, I got a message from Yohei. Wow, you guys killed it with MoniRobo Quest! We've climbed up pretty high on the sales ranking list. It's an amazing launch. I knew I had a good eye and that I was right to hire you. Thank you. I'm so glad we're getting these results. But this was really a team effort. And I'm sure that the game would have been a success without me too. This is where you say, yeah, it's all thanks to my skill, even if you're lying. Although your modesty is one of your best qualities, Hiroshi. By the way, there's something I wanted to talk to you about. What is it? When do you think I'll be able to become an official full-time employee? I never said we were going to offer you a full-time contract anytime soon, but you were just complimenting me so much. I actually thought that that's why you contacted me in the first place. I mean, I will recognize that you've been working hard, but that's a completely different conversation, isn't it? But I still produced good results for the company, and even the chief, Mr. Hazuma, has been praising my abilities. That's why I think I'll be a strong part of the team. Sheesh, just because the game luckily did well, doesn't mean you can get all up on your high horse. I'm not riding any horse. I just want to become a full-time employee. The game was just released. We don't know what's going to happen next, so you can't say that you produced good results already. That's true. I'm sorry. As for giving you a full-time employee contract, we need to keep an eye on it a little bit longer. Okay, I understand. I thought that I had done enough work and produced enough results to be upgraded to a full-time employee, but apparently that wasn't the case. Maybe I'm not working hard enough. However, something even more shocking was about to hit me in the face. One day, during my break time, I tried to go into the break room when I heard some voices through the slightly cracked door.
Interesting, that Moria.
Yeah, that guy. He's a real pain. I heard my name, so I instinctively stopped my feet and started eavesdropping. When I quietly peeked inside, I found Mr. Araki and Yohei laughing.
Are you really planning on making that guy a full-time employee?
As if. We didn't have enough people in the development team. That's the only reason why I invited that loser.
So when his contract is over, it's adios, isn't it?
Actually, I don't think we need him anymore already. The game has already been released, and another team will handle the rest. You can come up with a random reason and fire him.
All right, leave it to me.
They were in there, talking about me like that. Without thinking, I slammed open the door and interrupted. Yohei! That's not what you told me! At first, the two seemed shocked to see me there, but immediately turned their attitudes back onto me. What the hell? Were you eavesdropping?
Well, that makes this conversation easier. We don't need you anymore, so we're terminating your contract.
But I thought we were friends! Well, isn't that so cute? Even back in high school, I just wanted a friend that was a strong player. That's the only reason why I spoke to you. Then and now, I was just using you. The two cornered me and pushed me out of the room while laughing. I wasn't able to say anything back and felt like I had no choice but to leave the company behind. I felt so betrayed that tears started filling my eyes. For someone like me, maybe this was how I would be treated anywhere. Whoa, Mr. Moria, what's wrong? Mr. Hazuma saw me standing in the office lobby, crying, and came over to talk to me. It looks like something happened. You know what? I was just about to go get some food. Why don't you join me? He kindly invited me, so we went to a quiet restaurant with private rooms, and I told him everything about my situation. He listened quietly without saying a word, and at the end, he gave me a surprising response. If anything, I think this was a blessing. What? But why? Well, actually, Mr. Hazuma then started talking, and I was shocked. Yo, how have you been? For being betrayed by someone that I thought was my friend, I guess I'm alright. What do you want from me now? Well, what a greeting. Come on, that was just a little joke. And yet you got all upset and quit the company. How cute. Why are you messaging me? Well, you see, I thought about it and I regretted some things. That's why I was thinking of letting you become a full-time employee. So why don't you come back? We can be friends like we were back then. No thanks. Don't say that. I know you don't have another job lined up anyway. I'm sure nobody would be dumb enough to offer you a job. Don't worry, we'll take you in. Why don't you just be honest? The company isn't doing so great, so you want my help. What are you saying? You don't have to act dumb. Everybody knows that MoniRobo Quest is going up in flames. The game is full of bugs, the payment system is full of errors. It was even trending on social media. That's right. That's exactly right. We are beyond screwed. Please, come help us. Why aren't you asking the chief, Mr. Hazuma, before you ask me? Oh, that's right. You can't. Because he already quit, didn't he? I did try contacting him, though. And how did that go? Poorly, I bet. How? Do you know that? Of course. Because now he's working at a much bigger company, doing much bigger things. How the hell do you have that information? Well, that's obvious. It's because I'm working with Mr. Hazuma at the same company now. This is what Mr. Hazuma told me that day. Actually, I've been headhunted by a major game company. That's amazing. And they're already putting me in charge of a team. That's even more amazing. But not surprising because it's you, Mr. Hazuma. And they told me that if I knew of anyone great, that I could bring them with me. Was there anyone that exceptional in our company, though? Don't be silly! Mr. Moria, I'm literally trying to scout you right now! What? To be completely honest, your skills are above anybody else in the company right now. That's why I wanted to find the right time to invite you to join me. As a full-time employee, of course. That's already been discussed with the company. Are you serious? So what's it gonna be? Yes or yes? It was the last thing that I was expecting, but that's how I became a full-time employee, and with an incomparably better situation than my previous company. I'm working with Mr. Hazuma again, on the development of a new game. As one might expect, a major company meant much bigger budgets and bigger projects, so it's hard work but extremely rewarding. On the other hand, as for Yohei's company, just like I mentioned in those messages, MoniRobo Quest was sinking at an alarming rate. That was no surprise, considering the pillar of the development, Mr. Hazuma, was gone, and even though I was just a contract employee, they also lost a highly skilled programmer. The game may have been released already, but the development department still had a lot of work to do with maintenance and updates of the app. However, there was nobody left at the company that could keep up with the continuous schedule of this work. Yet they tried to force it anyway, and the game itself fell apart. That means that they gained nothing but the anger of the players and were bashed all over the internet. In the end, they weren't able to put out any of the flames, and not even 1 year after the release, MoniRobo Quest was shut down. I didn't feel bad for the company at all, but given that it was the first game I ever worked on, I didn't want it to end like this. So I spoke with Mr. Hazuma and our current CEO, and we decided to have a discussion with Yohei's parent company, aka their main investor. Yohei's father was quick to agree to the acquisition. Of course, Yohei was extremely unhappy about this, but he knew that this was the only option to avoid going into debt or bankruptcy. In the end, Yohei's company was acquired by our company, and MoniRobo Quest was re-released as MoniRobo Quest 2. A lot of people had faith in our company, so the popularity of the game was immediately restored. Of course, to make up for the inconveniences of the first release, we made sure to give out free items and rewards to the original users. All that being said, it was clear that Yohei was unfit to be a CEO. Our company decided that Yohei and everyone under him from that previous company would be let go, and Yohei no longer had a company itself. A new team was built for MoniRobo Quest and was going to be operated solely under our company. This whole incident became big news within our industry, so I'm sure it would be impossible for Yohei or Mr. Araki to ever find work in this industry again. I later found out that Yohei was given quite the earful from his father, and was told to go out into the world and become a man before coming back home. He went from being a student CEO to a struggling student overnight. On top of that, there were a lot of people at his college that were playing MoniRobo Quest, so he was labeled a guy with all talk but no game, and ostracized by his classmates. He was also being bombarded with messages to return any money that people had spent on the app, and it became so overwhelming that he's had to take a mental health leave from school. Now he's working a part-time job while living in a tiny crap apartment and barely scraping by, his father told us. Currently, he's one of our business partners, so that's how I know all of this. But even his father is saying,
"He may be my offspring, but there's no saving him. Whatever happens to him is his own responsibility.
That's his stance. So I don't think he'll be saving Yohei anytime soon. He definitely won't be making any more games, but he probably won't be able to play them anymore either. Next time, I was thinking about making an enemy character based off of Yohei. So if and when the opportunity comes, I'll make that proposal to Mr. Hazuma.